All right, FFA, what's up, everybody? Everybody in Facebook land and the YouTube world, welcome to our morning call. Hey, today's going to be an awesome call planned for you guys because we are talking to a power couple. If you know who it is, drop it in the WhatsApp chat. What power couple do you think I'm talking about? But I'm going to bring them on here shortly. But before we jump into that, guys, December 13th, I know you just saw the Cancun video. We're finishing up production numbers for the month of November, and we will have those sent out to you guys here shortly. But it is shaping up to be a huge agency trip. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of people qualified, and we've got 2 weeks left. So if you, so many of you are so close, like the next 2 weeks, all right, is going to determine whether or not you get to fly out there to Cancun. So keep pushing hard and focus on some carriers that are going to issue that production once it gets approved, right? You've got your Omaha, you got your Royal, Transamerica, Foresters, all those good ones. So if they count production on approval versus draft, that's going to help you lock this trip in. So stay focused out there. And if you're stacking up for next year, all right, focus on some of those carriers that are going to count that production on the draft versus approval. So play it smart with which companies you guys are focused on this week and next week as we wrap up this year. But check out this verse here as we jump into the call. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. All right. I love this verse. I thought it was a great verse to share with you guys on a Friday because as we go into this holiday season with Christmas, with New Year's, with just traveling, right? Finances, all that good stuff. All right. How true is this? I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but if I try to control everything in my life, all right, usually it goes wrong. Usually I mess it up. Usually I'm not seeing the clear picture. But if I just step back a minute, right, and try not to lean on my own understanding, all right, but just say a quick prayer, throw up the worry to him, it's amazing how the path just works itself out, right? When we started this company, we had no idea what we were doing, but we just had faith, all right, and that path went straight. And look at where he's taken it. And he's going to do the same thing for you in your life if you just submit to that. So think of Proverbs 3, all right, verse 5-6 as you go into this weekend, and just try to lean on his understanding and not your own. And it's amazing at just the peace that will come into your life when you're able to do that. I promised you guys that we were going to talk about, okay, the 2024 award nominations. I fixed the year, right? None of you guys even texted me on Monday when I went over this. I had set up for 2023 with the wrong year on there, but 2024, all right, award nominees. The next one up is the Freedom and Faith Award. So what is the Freedom and Faith Award? It's one of my favorite ones, okay, because it's the award that goes to the agent who just is the best team player, right? Like they're out there always helping everybody else in the company. They're always focused on how do they help the group? How do they help the team? How do they support the team, right? And they're just like the most selfless person out there. So the FFA award is just somebody who just embodies what we stand for as a company every single day. Every client they sit with, right? They're just the perfect example of FFA as a whole, as our company, right? And so let's talk about who got nominated for that for this year. We've got Jennifer Garner loaded up for that one. Jennifer's just a phenomenal agent who just has the best just ethics. Like I don't ever remember a situation where I have ever heard Jennifer complain about anything. Nothing. Like she's just like the perfect agent. So Jennifer, congratulations on being nominated for the FFA award. We've got Jenny Ivy. What a team player Jenny Ivy is. She's just always willing to help everybody. She's always willing to run a Zoom call, always willing to come on a conference call and speak. So Jenny, hats off to you for being nominated for this award. And then last but certainly not least, we have none other than Taylor Wade. Taylor's got a lot of different nicknames, right? We got T Wade, T Weezy. Allison calls her something different. I don't know, right? But Taylor Wade is just the perfect example of what an agent should be, right? And she's a perfect example of FFA as a whole. So awesome job to you three ladies for getting nominated for this award. Jennifer, Jenny, and T. Wade, super proud of you guys. All of you have been with us for years now, and just every single year, you guys are just doing everything right all the time. So nice work to you guys there. But without further ado, okay, we're going to bring on the power couple. Let's see if anybody got it right in the WhatsApp chat. Yep. Savannah was the first one to win. She guessed it right. It is Rebecca and Justin Pavoni. So guys, I'm going to add you to the feed here. Let me get rid of this PowerPoint. Awesome. I got you. Can y'all hear me okay?
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you guys for joining us today. So today's going to be a fun call because you guys can pick on each other a little bit like Alicia and I did on Wednesday. But I wanted to bring you guys on here because I feel like a lot of people like in their marriage, in their life, right? Like they would love to be able to just run a business together as a family and be able to set your schedule and all this stuff, right? Like there's a lot of need for that. You know, a lot of people, I think, would love to have the lifestyle and the freedom that this business can give them. And I know you guys have been with us for years now creating that. So appreciate you for jumping on here. But hey, just give everyone a brief introduction. Who is Rebecca and Justin? What were you guys doing before insurance?
So we actually both, we had taken a break from Walgreens. I came over first, and I had done pharmacy, which is very helpful when it comes to underwriting. And then I had gone into management, and I absolutely always loved developing people. I loved relationships and all of that. But during COVID, a lot of people realized that corporations really became about the numbers. And every time I got a promotion or whatnot, I always thought it was going to get better. You know, we tell ourselves these little lies and thinks life is supposed to get better. And honestly, it doesn't. You're just expected to drink the Kool-Aid more. You're supposed to do this and that and just make life happen and make it look happy. And honestly, it wasn't. I had never understood the saying that a job can eat your soul, or, you know, just, and honestly, I was to that point. And I had prayed and prayed and prayed. And I was really felt like God had me in a holding place of, you need to learn some lessons here before you're ready to move on. And I won't lie, I was like, I need you to hurry up and teach me what I need to know so I can move on. And
that's when he brought Justin into your life. Back there you go.
Yeah. And well, Justin was a major part of it. He happened to run into Taylor's mom at the grocery store. And they chatted, like, never saw her there before, never saw her there after. And he came home and said, I think you need to call this. And I said, Justin, it sounds like a scam. There's no way that this is how things go, or people make, you know, good money and that kind of stuff like that. And I won't lie, I sat on the number for a few weeks. And I forget what happened at work one day, but I came home and I said, give me that phone number. I need to make a call. And
it was God's will.
Yeah. So that's how I really fell into insurance.
So for me, awesome. I was with Walgreens. And
was Rebecca your boss, Justin?
No, definitely not. We're going to work together. But with Walgreens, I just told Rebecca, it's like, look, I'm leaving Walgreens. I don't like the direction they're going. Mm-hmm. I already found me a job. So I went into that job thinking that just because the field that it was, I was very comfortable doing it and I could do it in my sleep. But
hold on. I do also want to say, when he said he was leaving Walgreens, I said, I'm not going to be the last Pavoni standing. So
But I went into this other job knowing that it's something easy that I could do. It's something that, yes, it's still a sales job, but it's something I'm comfortable and familiar with.
Mhm.
But I told him I'll give him a year, see how it goes. And while I was doing that job, I was seeing what Rebecca was doing. I was seeing the purpose and the meaning behind what she's doing, helping the families, having the flexibility. I mean, I had flexibility, but not the flexibility that she had.
Mhm.
Being able to spend the time with the girls when we need to spend the time with the girls, but also go to work and truly do work. I
Mhm.
honestly feel like the Lord puts you in places for a reason. And some of these houses we go to, like, you're there for them, and it's that purpose right there. That's what I really like. My other job that I had no purpose. I had no feeling of self accomplishment. So this job gives that to me, and obviously flexibility. But yeah, that's it. That's how I got in here.
That's
And one
awesome.
big
You guys,
thing, yeah, one big thing that we found that when we came into it, it was during COVID. And I mean, anybody knows that during that time, kids get quarantined, every other week, it felt like.
Mhm.
And so, he had the ability to work in the morning. So I would set some appointments and he would come home around 1, 2 o'clock, and then I would go to my appointments and sell. And then, so we had complete flexibility that way. But with the other job, his main thing that he would come home and say is, I miss the interaction with people. I miss the relationships. And so that was the biggest piece for him.
Mhm.
So are you living a life of purpose, or are you just going through the motions?
Yeah. That's the thing. I think a lot of people do the same thing over and over and over again, and then they wake up and their life is like over. You're retired, probably have medical complications going on at that time. You can't do what you really wanted to do. You can't travel like you want to travel. I think of my grandfather who worked his whole life, and then when he ended up going on disability because he got like lung cancer and all kinds of stuff. He used to work in a GM plant and asbestos, and he was a plumber, right? So he went through all this stuff, and I looked at that, and it's like he had all these things, but he never really got to go on that hunting trip like he wanted to go on or do different things. And he just was a hardworking person. I think it's interesting, like where we're at today as a society, because there's a career out there. There's things you can do where you don't have to be locked into the same thing all day, every day. So what was it like for you guys, like leaving the rat race? Because some people are like, you had two little girls, at the time. How old were your kids when you started in this, Rebecca? They were little, right?
Yeah. So I started 3 years ago. So they were, they were 3 and 5.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they were, just little. So what was that like for you guys, like leaving a stable job? And then like, was there worry there, like with the kids, or were you like, hey, we're either going to make it or we're going to go homeless, or what were your thoughts?
Really, no. So I am an all-in person. Once I commit to something, I'm all in. So for me, with Walgreens, we had to be certified as technicians, doing shots and all of that stuff. So I was due to renew my CEs in October. I left in September, and I looked at Justin. I said, I'm not renewing my licenses. I'm letting them all lapse. And he's like, you sure about that? And I said, absolutely. I'm not going back. I refuse. And it's make or break. And I knew if other people could do it, I could do it. I had never been in any kind of industry like this before at all. But I knew insurance from being in the pharmacy. So I had I thought I had an understanding of it back then. But it was really good. I knew I had a great team around me and supporting me. So it was not a failure. Failure was not an option. Denzel Washington says, if you're going to fall, fall forward. And that was it. I mean, I won't lie. It was hard at first in some ways, but that was mainly because I literally did a 180 in career. But work has never been something that has ever made either one of us nervous. We had both had side hustles before. I was a baker on the side, and I had built up quite a business. I don't do it anymore. I don't need the money, and I don't want to. And then Justin also was a photographer.
Yeah, I mean, so we both had our side hustles. So the fallback was there. We had savings.
Yeah.
But that wasn't for me. I was worried. I didn't show it, but we were both leaving W-2 salary jobs with bonuses, and then a husband and wife, just going straight to commission jobs.
Yeah. I mean, I had been with Walgreens for 13 years. Justin
12.
was,
12 years.
So we knew our jobs inside and out. We were the people that they called when other stores had problems, when things needed to be fixed. I trained people as far as pharmacy techs. I taught classes. We ran COVID clinics. So we were used to busting tail to make things happen. I mean, back then they were still limiting resources. So we were used to figuring things out and working outside the box.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I think it set you guys up for success just jumping into this. I was just looking back, and as an agency as a whole, since you guys have got started, you're on track to almost break the $1 million mark total. Like, if you think about that over the last just 24 to 36 months, like $1 million, you went from zero to $1 million in agency production. Is amazing. And Rebecca, you won the Rookie of the Year award. So dive into that, right? So to give you guys kind of like a brief, I guess, intro, right? Like, these two aren't just two that just got licensed, and they're just trying to ride or whatever. Like, Rebecca took off running, hit Rookie of the Year. You guys have been team building throughout this process as well. So you're really kind of running at this with just open arms, trying to tackle all of it. So what was your first year like, Rebecca? Like, think about when you won Rookie of the Year. What was that like for you, going out in the field, working the leads, keeping your name at the top of the board? Like, just give everybody kind of what went into you winning that.
Really, once I figured things out, and the funny thing was, we did have savings and we had set things up kind of so that I gave myself cushion, because again, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was getting into. So, I gave myself a window to figure life out. And the funniest thing is, at the end of the window is when I finally took off. And I still to this day can't tell you what it was that took off. But when it did, it lit a fire. And, a lot of times you're in careers that they give you yearly reviews. You have bosses, and I get it. They have things that they have to do and ratings they have to hit. But one of the biggest things that really kicked it off for me was I had a conversation with my district manager, and he made the comment to me, and he had set me up the year before wrong. And he gave me an award. To this day, I will believe, because he knew he did me wrong. And it was a very nice reward, and very highly ranked in their world. But he said, setting up for the next year, he's like, some people rate themselves here and they're really up here, but then some people rate themselves here and they're really down here. And when he had that conversation with me, I knew he was setting me up again, so that when he gave me his review, it wasn't such a shock. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh no, you're not going to do this again. And the other thing was, so that was always in the back of my mind of somebody that said, you think you're here, but you're not there. You're really down here. And that was not okay in my book. And then I knew what I was worth, and I knew I wasn't getting paid what I was worth. Especially when, I was one that they always had come out to help for different things. And so I knew I was worth more. And I really wanted to show other people and myself that, I thought I was worth more, but am I really worth it? And so that was always in the back of my mind. And then once, I'm very competitive. Poor Justin. We have had to throw away some board games because, or, borderline somebody sleeping on the couch because, you have games that make you so irritated. And so once that fire hit of, I could actually be one of the top agents, I could actually hit those numbers. It was just game on. So it really was just that competitive edge.
That's awesome. I love that. Now I'm going to pivot over to you, Justin. So for you, like one thing that I can see with you is when you have like this natural ability to train people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think like when you take people like potential agents out there in the field and they do a shadow day with you, or you're it's their first day, right? And you're like trying to guide them through the process or call the phone, do the appointments. Like you have like this natural ability to be able to do that. And a lot of people I think struggle with that. Like a lot of agents that want to grow, they want to build a team, they want to coach agents. They struggle with that. They might be able to go out there and sell a bunch by themselves. But when it comes to like putting someone in their car and like letting them see what this job is and coaching them and teaching them in that process, it's a difficult transition. So what would be a tip for you? Like when you're training an agent or you have one shadowing you, like, what does that look like for you? Like, how are you able to manage that? And like, just give everybody kind of just an idea of like, how did you become a good coach in that sense?
For my mindset that I have, I'm always a giver. Like I'm never one that wants to receive. I love to give. So I feel like someone's in my car, I got to give them my full attention. Someone wants to look up to see what we're doing. I want to make sure that I'm doing 100% of what we do on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. To go forward and show them, hey, this is what the job is. This is how successful it can be. Yes, there's going to be setbacks, but this is how we overcome the setbacks. Mm-hmm. Trying to give them the why of and purpose of what we're doing. It's not just to make a sale, not to make a commission. It's to help someone's family and trying to explain, because of course new people come in and they're always about, how much money do you make? How much of this? It's like, money's great. Money will come. The Lord will take care of you if you're doing God's work. So I just feel like giving them the basics, setting them off the right way, and just being able to show them, hey, this is a simple job, but the simple job doesn't always mean it's an easy job. So going out there and just explaining step by step, and just showing the passion and compassion that we have for these people. I just think that overcomes a lot of the objections that usually come up for me. Mm-hmm. And I try to get ahead of any objections that they might have and just be able to show them, the honest truth.
For sure. I love that. If you go out there with a servant-driven mindset, it's easy to coach. It's easy to lead people when you're more focused on them versus you or what you're worried about and stuff. So that's awesome. Now let's pivot. What's it like working together and being married? What does that look like? Is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? What's it been like for you guys?
We'll let him answer first.
So it's a great thing.
The slaughtering table there, Rebecca.
I know, right? No, it really is a great thing. We know we both have strengths and weaknesses, and we can play off of them. Not only that, for our lead situations, I mean, she gets her own leads, I get my own leads. And then there's times when I can't get into people's houses. and then Rebecca will just turn around and go out there, work them, and then get right in, and vice versa. I mean, I've been able to get into some of these houses that she's never been able to get in.
So you're saying you're better than her, Justin?
I'm just saying.
No, hold on. This week I have been mainly running an old list of his leads, and I've sold several of them, and he's like,
it's painful.
He's a little salty about it.
That's all right. Because I know it's all going to the same place. It's going to
Hey, there you go, right? Just because they told you no, it doesn't. You still got him. You still got this out.
Exactly.
So it works. Yeah, that's fine. Now, how do you guys manage your time, right? Because I know you've got your kids, right? You got a house, you got stuff going on. How do you juggle like who does what?
I mean, we've pretty much had it worked out with Walgreens, and then because I mean we had a set schedule, we had to do things. She started in insurance first, so that I was already taking the girls to school, picking them up, doing stuff like that. She is got to have her schedule blocked out, like half hour by half hour. So she has her stuff. I'm by the seat of my pants, so I just fill in. So I do the cooking. I've always done the cooking.
Not lately.
Yeah, she can't cook chicken. But just doing that and just making sure that we're on the same page of, hey, if she needs to work late, I'm getting the girls. If I have to work late, then it's just communication is probably the number one between us.
And I want to take a step back. So Walgreens really did set us up right in the beginning. Back in the day, they did a lot of training on having crucial conversations and, that communication piece. So that really has helped. When you work with your spouse, when they're telling you a story to just make it sound like what they want to. I just couldn't find anybody home. I drove all day. I this, I that. And there have been times where each of us, especially me, Taylor knows that she's had to change the way she's coached because and you do great when you and I are talking because I'm a no BS person. Just give it to me. I don't want fluff. So poor Justin, sometimes when I've had some difficult conversations with him, I don't spare feelings. Let's just get the point out. Let's see how we can solve it and let's move on from there. I don't dwell on it. Once we've had that conversation, it's over. We're not going to keep rehashing it because that's terrible for a relationship. And so we've actually, in a lot of ways, grown together because we have had to have conversations that you normally wouldn't have with your spouse. And so it's actually, in some ways it was hard at first, kind of figuring out, how things are going to go. But once we have, we've been married 12 years, together 13. And honestly, the last 3 years, we have had probably the most growth together that we have in our entire relationship. He does yell a lot.
This is
I don't think he possesses the ability to yell. I've never heard Justin ever raise his voice.
No. And there have been times where I will joke, I'm like, would you please stop yelling? And the girls look at me like, he's not yelling. So it's very comical. No, he does not get angry.
Yeah. Justin, I'm noticing a trend here. Okay. So you've been married for 12 years. I've been married for 12 years, and me and you both got a little gray hair going on. And
I got a little bit more than you, so.
Well, hey, if mine was longer, it would look the same. I gotta purposely cut it out. So I don't know. Maybe that's not a coincidence. What do you think?
I don't know. I think my gray is really coming from the girls, but you got 4, so I don't know.
Yeah, I also think it's his lucky charm right now. He has been just on this killer streak in the last few months, and I told him, I said, it's your lucky charm. Don't shave it.
I had a client tell me
you gotta do it like, you know how football players in the NFL, if they're like in the playoffs or the football season, they don't shave at all until like they win the Super Bowl. So like you got to do that, like set your goal, and then you're not allowed to shave until you hit it.
Hey.
It's better than Lucky Socks or underwear.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
I've heard stories about people like that.
What's a closing tip you guys have for everybody, right? So you guys have been able to jump into this. You're building the business together, running your life together, doing it all. What's a tip you have? There's a lot of people, believe it or not, whose spouses look at what they do at this industry and they think like, dang, maybe I want to stop my job and do that with them, type of thing. So like what would be a tip that you have for those people?
You go first.
Well, I've already talked about it some, but having that servant heart, not looking just to get a paycheck and looking just to help people, being open for communication. I mean, if you don't have communication, no job's going to work for you. A relationship's not going to work for you. Your job's not going to work for you. And it's not going to go anywhere.
Love that one. What do you got, Rebecca?
So I'm going to be a little controversial. One, because I'm the female, and two,
should I mute the microphone?
No. But one, again, I'm a female. Two, in our culture, in our day and time, everybody is all up in their feelings. It's about how I feel, how I don't want to do this because I feel sad, or somebody's done me like this. And we are a culture of victim mentality, and that has to end. It's not about how you feel. It's not about, who's done what to me. Get over it. Nobody cares. Either people are happy that you're suffering, or they just don't care. So, as a female and in an industry where, you're talking to lots of people, it's not about how you feel. Just get up and do it. Nike has a just do it. A lot of other people I love, which again, he's controversial. So if you listen to him, just know that there's gonna be some bad words. But David Goggins, he's a huge one of just, get outside of your mind. You are able to do so much more than what you realize. Your mind wants you to stay soft and comfortable. Your mind does not want to, your mind wants to basically take the easiest way. And so, the easiest way is not the best way. What feels easy now is not going to set you up for success later. There's a saying of, eating healthy is hard now, or it's easy later. Eating fast food is easy now, but you're going to pay the price later. Same thing with work. You either work hard now and enjoy the benefits later, or you take it easy now. And I mean, we see it every day of people who just aren't where they thought they would be. And so, you have to get outside of yourself. It's not about you. This world is not about you.
So true.
And so you got to get outside of it.
That's awesome. I love both those tips. And hey, that's so true, guys. Your life, whatever it is right now, is entirely because of what you've done in it, right? And I think the minute that now you might say, well, this happened and that happened. Yeah, but if you really just own that, it's like, dang, okay, nobody else can control me, right? Kind of goes back to that verse earlier. So I love that. So Justin, Rebecca, appreciate you guys for jumping on here, sharing some tips. Justin, I don't think you're in the doghouse. I think you played this move pretty safe. So you should be good to go. But thank you guys for jumping on. Everybody who tuned in and watched, we appreciate you guys. We're going to be back here on Monday morning.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.